unfamiliar path with a pulse of its own.
3, 2, 1.
Final Encountercast. Interesting conflicts, not conflicts of interest.
Typical corporate bullshit.
With your hosts, Nate, Robbie, Chris, Mika, and Callie. FinalEncountercast.com.
Ready? Get set? Go!
What is up? Welcome to Final Encountercast, episode 19. Glad to have you guys along with us here at twitch.tv/Final Encountercast. We got some new decorations.
We sure do. Can we give him a clearer shot of it?
Yeah, Robbie. There we go.
It looks like Trish is gonna kick your head.
Yeah, you're about to get kicked in the back of the head.
Yeah. All right. That's what we got. So now it's all fucked up. You fucked it up.
Well, that's because you put it down too far.
Yeah, look at that.
All right.
Now you're all dark and hard to see. Told you we shouldn't do that.
Because I'm Reaper.
All right. Well, yeah. Thanks for joining us here at twitch.tv/Final Encountercast. Happy to have you along for the show. Got a lot to talk about today. We've got an interesting subject at hand here.
I'm excited for it.
Of course, this week saw some interesting. I don't want to call it drama because I feel like that word is being thrown around a little bit too much
Interesting
recently.
conflict?
Yeah.
Not conflict of interest?
Oh!
Minecraft creator Notch got into a bit of trouble for some tweets that he tweeted out earlier this week. We're going to talk about that. We invite your phone calls because we do take your calls on the show. Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. And we're going to have a way for you to call in on Discord soon. So, you know, we're missing our intern Len today, who unfortunately couldn't be here. Wasn't
feeling well.
Was not feeling well, and just want to send a quick shout out to him. And
I'd actually like to give a thank you to Juxta too, because with Len being gone, or Chris,
with who?
With Chris.
With Chris. My name is Chris.
Chris. With Len being gone, he very effortlessly just kind of fell into place and started performing a lot of his duties. So.
Oh yeah, well he just reverts back to intern when there is no intern.
To be fair, I've made Callie get me some pop a couple times.
That's true.
Too, so.
That's true.
I believe I was getting the drinks during the show.
That is true.
Which I was going to make a big stink about, but oh my god, it was hot in here.
Yeah, it was really hot in here. So
I'm really doing you a favor.
Yeah,
actually, it was like, oh, it's nice out there.
So, by the way, Callie is not going to be able to stick around the entire show. Callie, do you want to share what's going on right now?
Is it that time of the month?
No,
Wow.
it's kind of a shitty situation.
It's a very shitty situation. I had our toilet backed up at our house, and
you just gotta plunge that, bro.
Nah, I don't know if
What were you flushing?
Bodies.
lots of cocaine.
You know,
Why would you flush the cocaine?
Well, you
eat
don't want to
that
get caught
shit.
with it.
You eat that shit.
someone in the house finally found out that he was a brony, and he's like, "I gotta flush it all, man."
No, I think they all know. There's no one in my house who that would be a surprise to.
No, Silas says he's finally getting his boobs. That's why.
Oh yeah, that's what it
we're
is.
not paying for that.
That said, so yeah, there's a huge mess, which I just realized a little while ago claimed about $300 worth of makeup that I'm going to have to somehow replace at some point.
And also, they wouldn't be his boobs; they would be our boobs.
Yeah, they would be station boobs. Yeah.
LBR
Thank
boobs,
you.
Yeah, that's right.
or FEC.
So, yeah, Callie is going to have to pretty much take off right after the news to go clean up shit.
Literally to go clean shit.
So another day.
Literally.
What?
So you're really just going from one shitty place to the next.
This is the next shitty place. Yeah.
Oh, you really stepped in it, mate.
Oh man. So yeah, on top of having some new decorations for the studio, we've also got some new drops this week, right?
Yeah.
I think Chris is pretty excited about his new drops, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think we've all been really excited since Battleborn has launched, right, guys?
Yeah.
Fucking Battleborn.
Yeah.
What a great game.
What? No.
What?
Lol.
I saw a picture the other day that someone had put on Facebook. They were comparing Battleborn statistics to some new sim game where you get to be a YouTube streamer.
Ooh, that's cool.
What?
And the YouTube streaming sim game was outperforming Battleborn by like half.
So wait, there's a game where you simulate being a streamer who plays games?
Yeah. Yep. Being a YouTube star, going to like I guess events and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
This is
the
getting really
weirdest-
meta.
And it's more popular than Battleborn is.
lol. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone play Battleborn.
I've never even heard of Battleborn, so
Yeah, exactly.
If you watched YouTube, you would know about it because I can't seem to not get the Battleborn trailer every single time I watch a video on
They're
YouTube.
really pushing hard.
They really are. They're spending a lot of money and they're getting fucking annihilated.
My family saw that picture. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's good.
All
That's
right.
good. But by the way, I'm just saying, we could have done that joke, except news tonight.
And that's the way the news goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this program to bring you important news.
Here's a story that's out of this world.
I full on expected someone to pull out the dildo on the selfie stick. Which thank you, Malcuria, for that artwork, by the way.
Yeah.
My family saw that picture. So thank you for that.
Oh, that's good.
All
That's
right.
good. But by the way, I'm just saying, we could have done that joke, except it would have come from something being in my ass. Just so you know, we could have shoved that in your face.
Wait, what did you have up your ass?
Do you have a dildo that you put in your ass?
I own a dildo. What's wrong with that?
that you put up your ass?
Hell yeah.
Why didn't you do this then?
I'm 31. I am 31 years old. I don't mind a digit in the butt. It's a sexual orifice.
Guy
sir.
owns an anal dildo but doesn't think he could go 10 times in a day.
Hey, you know what? Different
that
areas
just
of the body.
Well,
Yeah.
that just happened.
There you go.
Alrighty, guys. Warner Brothers has announced that they will be distributing a live-action adaptation of Full Metal Alchemist, set to debut in winter 2017. Filming set to begin this June.
I have so many questions about this because I found a different link that actually listed the cast who
Yes.
are all Japanese.
Yes.
So my question is this an American film in English with Japanese actors, or is it a Japanese
Well,
film?
Warner Brothers is distributing it, which would lead me to. I'm
But-
guessing it's got to be a Japanese film that Warner Brothers is distributing
Right,
over
that-
here. That it's
that
probably
makes
going to be a
more
Japanese production.
Actually,
Okay.
I only have one question. Why?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. Why? Why is a great
Money.
question?
But this is, I mean, okay, Fullmetal Alchemist is a huge franchise, obviously, but I feel like this is one that doesn't lend itself. It doesn't lend itself well to live action.
Nothing.
No.
Here's the thing, though.
It doesn't.
Any book, any video game, any comic, or none of these things lend themselves well to it. And the only reason that comics are doing so well is because they've been doing it for so long now. But that's not going to stop them from fucking trying. I mean, even the Attack on Titan movie was a travesty, wasn't it?
Did that come out?
Isn't it still coming?
I'm pretty sure it came out in
I
Japan.
think it came out years ago.
I have
Guess
no
what?
idea.
I'm pretty sure that it was terrible. So
But
this is probably going to be terrible as
The Death Note
well.
ones were fairly good, and those are by WB, right? That's what people in the chat are saying.
Well, again, I don't think that distributing all that means is that someone's like, here's these movies, you sell them, and you can have some of the profits. So it's
Right.
WB can't fuck anything up. It's, I would assume, probably pure profit for them because they don't have to really put any work or anything into it.
Okay, so who's producing it? Like Japanese companies?
Probably.
Probably, yeah.
The article just listed that WB is distributing it.
I mean, it's well. Keep in mind that I think Warner Brothers had been attached to the live Akira project as well. So there's been a lot of, there's been promises out of that company that have never really developed. So
Very true.
Yeah.
Valve is currently being sued by a former employee to the tune of $3.1 million for creating a hostile work environment, employee misclassification, and wrongful termination. The former employee alleges that transgender slurs were used against her and that she was fired only after filing a written complaint about some perceived shady business practices in which Valve was soliciting free translation work, which would supposedly lead to a future paid position down the line. And that, of course, never manifested for anyone.
Wow. So this person is now blowing the whistle whistle on that?
In fact, from what I understand, this person was a translator for them. They translated games into Spanish. When they were going through their sexual reassignment surgery, they had to move to Los Angeles, and Valve was accommodating of that. But when she found out that they were soliciting more help in that way for basically promises that were never going to happen, she blew the whistle on that, submitted a written complaint, and they fired her shortly after that.
Oh, wow. Wow. Well, I mean, that's not a good way to lose your job.
Yeah. Also, just as a hint to any employers out there, if you have a transgender person on your staff, don't call them it.
Wow.
That was apparently the slur being used, just calling her it.
Wow.
Don't do that. Just don't do that.
I'm gonna have to agree with it. That's a really bad way to go.
Whoa.
Too soon? Too soon?
Yeah.
No, Kelly's like, too soon, bro. Yeah, a little too soon.
Hang on. I don't know. I think, like, it is a very general word, and, I mean, it's...
Now, a lot
There's
of people...
no one in the world okay with being called it.
The context with which the word is being used, I think, is...
Yeah, most people that prefer non-gender go with they.
I was going to say,
right.
yeah, I mean, right off the top of your head,
Not
when people
it.
say it, you think of a psychopathic fucking clown and a giant glob of hair.
I have known a lot of people who wanted to be called they. I have never met someone who said, just call me it.
No,
Right.
nobody. And I'm not saying that that's how people identify, but I mean, it's very dangerous by labeling simple pieces of language
Agreed.
as a slur or hate speech.
I think the transgender thing in this is very secondary to them being fired over filing a written complaint about something that is sleazy.
I agree. No, I totally agree.
I think that's the main point to the story.
Absolutely.
Far and away.
Yeah.
All right, so Dark Souls, while challenging to most, has encouraged some players to find ways to make the series even harder. Twitch streamer Rudism decided to beat the first boss of Dark Souls 3 on a dance pad.
Woo!
And not to be outdone, Ptolomeo OR completed an entire run on New Game Plus 7 mode using no weaponry, fists only.
Wow.
Now, we talked a little bit about this. You didn't quite know how hard New Game Plus 7 was. How hard would just the regular version be without weaponry and only fists?
Well, I mean, it depends on your character build, because, I mean, that is... you can use fists as a weapon.
You can go unarmed?
Yeah. Okay. It's tough. I mean, it's hard, but it is an option that you can do. Doing New Game Plus 7 like that, that's... Wow. I'm gonna say that takes some balls. But, I mean, like, the gimmick runs of, like, using different style controllers for Dark Souls,
right.
That's been done for a long time. I think the most impressive one was someone beat Dark Souls using a Rock Band controller, and I think they were using their feet.
Like the guitar controller from Rock Band?
Yeah, something like that. And they were using their feet to do it. It's something like that. It was fucking crazy. And I mean, people get very good at that game, and you know, once you've figured it out, I mean, challenging yourself with different control schemes and stuff like that, it's pretty interesting.
It's amazing.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Of all the games to look at and say, how can I make this harder?
Right.
Dark Souls.
Yeah, well, you got a point there. Yeah.
Capcom has released a trailer for their new third-person shooter, Umbrella Corps. The game features 2 teams of Umbrella agents battling over biological samples while hordes of zombies indiscriminately attack both sides, which I think is a really cool concept for a third-person shooter.
Yeah,
it sure is.
In fact, I'm kind of surprised with a lot of the stuff that you've been seeing come out recently that this type of thing was only just now explored.
Yeah, like, I mean... 2 teams shooting at each other is nothing new, but just having a third element that attacks both sides, that's a really novel concept.
Yeah, now, when you mentioned this, the first thing that I thought of...
It just sounds like a MOBA to me.
Was Battleborn, but minions in that are from both sides, so it's still just one side versus the other side.
This is like I wonder how the balancing is going to work in that. Is that the winning team going to have to face more zombies, or is it just going to be pure random, indiscriminate? Zombie sees you, tries to nom you.
But what really intrigues me about this and kind of makes me want to play it is the fact that, like, imagine, like, you know, the 2 teams are shooting it out when you get down to just like you and one other person, and then you realize the zombies are coming in, and like, all right, you know, you could kill the other person now, but you might have a better chance surviving the zombies if you 2 work together.
Yeah.
Right? Forcing you into situations like that.
Right.
Yes, I think that is the most interesting part of it.
And then you're going to have the dynamic of, like, okay, we're eventually going to have to shoot at each other. Who pulls the trigger first? Like, how long can you let that go?
Yep.
Yeah.
It could be a really novel concept. I don't know.
Yeah, it makes sense. All right, we got a trailer here to check out. Let's check out the trailer. Come on, trailer. There we go.
Trailer, come on.
Here we go. Oh, good. Capcom logo. Awesome. Oh, and made with Unity.
Unity
This is
logo, great.
Awesome.
It's a fucking box.
Oh my
This
God.
is
God.
seriously like every fucking trailer does not need 6 logos that display at 30 seconds a pop.
So it's nice to see Raccoon City again. We haven't seen that in quite a bit.
This wasn't the actual Raccoon City game really crappy.
Well, Resident Evil 2 was outstanding and had Raccoon City in it.
Yeah, but like the one that was called Raccoon City.
Yeah, I think that's garbage. But it's nice to see there again, and like they kept a lot of the same landmarks that you saw in Resident Evil 2.
I think that's an important thing. Like, one of the big things between Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3 was that you got to go back to a lot of very memorable places from Dark Souls 1, and
Right.
I think that is so cool when game series do that, because it makes it feel like it is a world and that things are connected.
I feel like third-person shooters are like really uncommon. It's nice to see a third-person shooter again.
No, oh, really? Are they? I've never seen a third-person shooter. We didn't just get an Uncharted game or anything.
Yeah, you dick. Fuck you.
So it's yeah.
I mean, you got all your standard game modes. But yeah, like you can see that was a zombie horde coming at them as opposed to enemy players.
Which, I mean, that takes the idea of stealth completely out of it. If you're...
I was going to say, that was something else that I was thinking about was, what about also, like, adding an element to where, all right, yeah, you have your guns and it's first-person shooter, blah, blah, killing each other. But what about the option, like, all right, I can take this guy out, but if we fire our guns, all that shit's going to come towards us, you know?
So this game does not look interesting to me.
No,
I don't like zombies. I don't like zombies.
Watching it, I'm not as impressed, but the concept is still really, really cool.
Maybe they could like remake the game, but instead of zombies, have like clouds and muffins or something.
It is a different way to do a PvP shooter.
Yeah.
What do muffins have to do with Final Fantasy VII?
What?
What?
It's like clouds,
you said
and
clouds
muffins.
and muffins.
Oh.
Do you not want muffins with your clouds?
I prefer cupcakes.
Cupcakes and clouds are fine.
So we've seen Raccoon City, but apparently they're taking us to some other locations that were featured throughout the Resident Evil series.
You know what would be really cool, Nika? Imagine the Mass Effect multiplayer, but where you have a second team, and like whoever kills the most wins, but you also get points for killing each other too.
That would be cool. The Mass Effect online mode is pretty cool.
I thought it looked cool. It's better than a lot of the shit Capcom's rolled out over the past few years, so
yeah,
I see something at least with a cool concept to it.
Capcom's been having trouble. I mean, Street Fighter V, anyone?
Yeah.
No one?
Fuck that. Pocket tournament, man.
Crickets? Okay, guess so.
All right. Let's see. A petition to the White House, which would set the precedent for esports competitors to be classified as athletes, at least so far as visas are concerned, has gathered the 100,000 signatures needed to elicit a response. The petition was specifically in regards to William Hyelte, a professional Super Smash Bros. Melee player, but the precedent it would set would apply to most all esports.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't League of Legends already considered an esport or a sport in terms of visas?
As far as an athletic visa goes, yes, League of Legends is, but no other game is currently. This would open the door basically for all other games to fall into that category.
In fact, tomorrow is first day to a new job. Love you all. Keep up the good work.
Cool. Cleanway, congratulations. Enjoy your new job. Thanks for the donation. We appreciate it. It's weird. How did League of Legends be able to get that classification?
And have it not apply to every other...
What was the criteria there?
It's a team-based game as opposed to Melee, which is solo play. It's a team... And I think one of the big pushing points that they got is that schools here started offering scholarships for a League of Legends team, and I think that was one of their justifications they used.
Yeah, but why not like StarCraft 2? StarCraft 2 is equally as big and equally as competitive, especially on the world stage. Like,
but it's not a team game.
True. Yeah, that is true. It's singles.
So what? Are we just going to go like on a game-by-game basis now?
Well, I think that's why this particular case is important, because Melee is a single player. You would now have the precedent set for both a single player and a team game.
Huh.
Yeah,
right.
but
okay, well, hold on.
But again, if League of Legends is the only game to get that classification, like, it doesn't set a precedent for multiplayer games, because there are tons of other multiplayer games and multiplayer teams where that doesn't apply.
Well, I mean, is this bill for
Well, this is just a petition that people are signing.
But you're right. And if it goes through and they like agree, like, okay, we'll listen to this. Is
Right.
it going to cover all esports, or is it just going to extend to Super Smash?
This is literally, this petition is for one person, William Hielte, who is a pro Smash Brothers player. But once that goes through, there's your precedent for other players looking for the same thing to get that athletic visa.
Right, because you could say, like, oh, that was just for team games, but what about, like, Halo? They have competitive Halo tournaments. They've had competitive Counter-Strike for how long?
CSGO, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that there was a little bit more clarity as to what that was all about.
As with anything where it's still an emerging market, there's probably a lot of loopholes still to be exploited with that.
Yeah, true.
All right. While we at Final Encountercast have shown enthusiasm for the new Power Rangers movie, Lionsgate seems determined to test just how enthusiastic. In a conference call, the CEO told investors they were planning on somewhere between 5 and 7 additional movies within the franchise.
What?
Jesus.
I can say 3. I can say 3.
Obviously. Yeah, 3's
maybe
if the first one's good.
If the first one's good.
Yeah, 3's the trend because it's cheaper to sign them for 3 and, film like the trilogy at the same time than do them individually. But shit.
Shouldn't kind of your expectations kind of high.
Then again, Marvel's the one that apparently has their movies planned up to 2025 on the office wall of Kevin Feige.
Whoa.
But Marvel is very different than Lionsgate
because they've proved themselves.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
They did not have that whole movie wall planned out at Iron Man
before the movie was even out.
Yes, exactly.
Well, here you have to give them this though. At least they're falling in the middle, and they're not trying to do a DC where they're just oh, you know what? Let's just mash everything into the second fucking movie.
Well, no, DC puts out crap and then says we're going to have 10 movies anyway. That's what's frustrating about DC.
Yeah, that's true.
At least this movie has the potential to be good.
They're going to lose. DC's going to lose so much money.
That's correct.
It's going to. That's going to be bad. It's really going to be bad.
Almost like you had half-mast on that.
No. No, it's just I feel bad for him because
I
don't. They're just making bad decisions.
Hold on. No, he's right because it's not actually DC that's making the movies. It's Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay. Warner Brothers is definitely fucking over their comic properties.
Well,
and yet they keep doing good jobs with anything animated they put out.
I'm sorry, Fox keeps fucking up everything except for Deadpool.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Hey, a broken clock's right at least twice a day.
Whatever.
And unfortunately, when it is right, it makes $700 million. All right, a trailer has released for Mighty Number 9, and wow. If the goal was to channel the 90s vibe that Mega Man is associated with, mission accomplished. We have that trailer, and enjoy.
Well, I'm going to need to... Oh, shoot.
I was going to say, you from what you've told us, this is all very purposefully designed.
This trailer, I swear, is built right off like the old Sega CD, Sega 32X commercials.
But it's getting a lot of shit.
Yeah, I don't think people get the joke. Like, it's the Mega Man, this game is based off Mega Man, which came out in the 90s, and this trailer is a 90s trailer. That's what it is.
This is like what a corporate suit thinks the 90s was like.
Really?
Yes.
But yeah, that's what we got. But that's what 90s trailers were. That's what a corporate suit thought the 90s were.
But so what you're saying is that it's like it's a Poochie-ized version of the most Poochie-ized decade to have ever existed. Is that what you're saying?
A good way of describing it.
That okay? All right. I just want to be sure and be clear that that's what you're saying because I think that's a pretty bold claim.
I'm gonna give you the straight warning here. I loved it, but I loved Birdemic. So,
all right. There's one good part of this trailer, and let's see if you can guess what part I love.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Let's check this trailer out then.
Hey, you, looking at the screen. Let me ask you a question.
Oh my God.
Do you like awesome things that are awesome? Then you gotta play this game, dude. It's friggin' cool.
Gotta play this game,
Crazy
dude.
addictive. Like popping bubble wrap addictive.
Bubble
Check this
wrap.
out. Bubble wrap. See, that's your dash move. There's a short dash, a long dash, jump dash, spiral, slide. There's probably a dash that makes you breakfast. I don't know.
Great idea. Wait, what?
Point is, you're dashing around like a friggin' moon man, and I love it. Oh, and look at this. There's all these combo moves you can do. Then you can do combos on combos to rack up your score. And I know
I
you
got
like
combos
that.
on combos on combos. This is bullshit.
But I saved the best for last. Absorption boost. You kill an enemy, and you can absorb their power-ups. Stuff that'll make you faster and stronger.
Okay,
and make
so
the bad guys
here's my
cry
thing,
like
right?
I like this trailer.
The actual script is pretty good, but I feel like the guy's heart isn't in it.
He needs to be more into it. You're right.
It's not like power.
This reminds me of the look at me, now look at your man. Now look at me.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. It's the Old Spice guy.
They need to be like, your combos get combos, and those combos get combos, so you can combo your combos.
Yeah.
Well,
you're
dashing.
It needs a little more oomph, but I actually think it's funny. Like, it's clever. I don't think it was.
This is too much Old Spice and not enough like monster truck rally.
There you go.
Yeah, see?
Too much old, not enough spice.
But yeah, I looked at that. I'm like, that is a '90s trailer for anything.
That's a '90s student-made trailer.
Yeah, I just came across one of my favorite gaming 90s trailers the other day.
Oh boy!
And I just want to, for a point of comparison, I want to just compare the two trailers and see, like if you guys, because I actually kind of agree with Chris that sort of sounded like a corporate Suits version of a 90s. Of a 90s ad.
You could have been so much more 90s than that.
Yeah.
If you were going for 90s, then 90s it up. Don't half-mast it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so this is an actual ad from the 90s. It's my favorite 90s gaming ad. It's for Game Boy Camera.
Oh, I just saw this the other day.
Like, right?
Oh my god!
Do you guys?
I remember
I
this.
so remember this.
I remember this.
It's I do remember this.
I still have my Game Boy camera here somewhere. I gotta find it.
Hey, Dad, I'm 35 and I'm still living at home, but check out my Game Boy camera.
He's got like the chin dusting and everything.
He does. It's terrible.
Printing out the stickers.
Oh my
my God.
With the jingle and fucking everything. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't even compare to the level of 90s that just oozed out of your speakers.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
You're
like
right.
it really doesn't. Like it feels like an empty, hollow version of that. I'm gonna have to agree with Chris. Oh my god,
you're not wrong. Yeah, it is a Poochie Eyes version, but like
it is. It's yep.
Like everyone just like says like that trailer was so bad, and I kind of looked at it. I'm like, I don't know if I would say it's bad. I kind of like this trailer
The script
for a
was
game that I'm not
fine.
super excited about.
Script was fine. Execution could have been a lot better.
I agree. That's fair. Machine Zone, creator of the popular Game of War app, has signed a deal with the government in New Zealand to use their software to create a real-time simulation of the city. In doing so, they will be able to efficiently distribute their mass transit system to reflect the needs of the people. Basically, what they're doing is they're able to ping everyone's got the app installed to figure out where kind of everyone is and properly send like buses to the right places to like make that efficient.
That's smart, actually. I thought it was like they're going to use like the little figures in the game to be like, okay, so if there's 80 guys here and there's a troll over here, we need to get these 80 guys away from the troll and build this wall so he can't get in. I thought that's what they were going
I don't know.
with.
When you mention like everyone having the app and it being able to ping them, my mind immediately goes to Captain America Winter Soldier when Hydra was going to use gunshots
My mind went
to take everybody out.
My mind went to the Dark Knight where he won't use the machine to see where everyone's at.
That's right. Yes. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. But at the same time, like this is actually a really like cool idea to take what was traditionally a game company and reutilize it to do something like mass transit. That's kind of innovative.
Mass murder.
It really is. It's kind of a cool application of. I mean, you would never think that it could be used like that, but wow, that's pretty cool.
If it works, I guess is the caveat to that.
Yeah.
At their first quarter meetings, GameStop says they saw sales drop by 4.3%, largely due to a weaker slate of games compared to last year when GTA 5 launched for PC as well as Mortal Kombat 10. Toy sales were one of the only positive increases, with hardware sales dropping by 28%.
Wow. Well, I mean there's
digital downloads are huge now.
Yeah, that is true, and there's some truth. I mean, there is a bit of truth to that. Today, when we went and picked up the Overwatch stand from the GameStop off of Jefferson. By the way, shout out to you guys on GameStop on Jefferson in Detroit. So when we were there picking this up, dude, there were way more toys and action figures and shit in there than I ever remember.
Didn't they just recently, like last year, they like bought some type of exclusive rights when it came to like certain Funko Pop figures?
Certain Pop
didn't
figures
they?
are only bought at GameStop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hot Topic has exclusives too.
If you think about it though, what was the last game you actually went out and physically bought?
Actually, when I was,
we bought Dark Souls 3 at GameStop.
yeah, no, I
Bravely Second.
Bravely
bought,
Second, yeah.
I bought Dark Souls 2 at GameStop because I was in there asking about the promo stuff, and I was like, I kind of feel like I should spend a little bit of money, and it was $14. So
Wow. Okay.
I bought the Silent Hill remaster.
that was the PS4 version. I mean, I had to kind of like stop and go, wow, that is way cheaper than I expected. I mean, granted, Dark Souls 2 is not the standout in the series. It's probably the Valley in that.
Yeah.
But $14 for a PS4 game?
That's not bad. That's
Wow.
not bad.
Yeah.
The last one that I bought, I think, was Omega or Sapphire, the Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I don't even remember, but I know the last 100 plus games that I bought in the past year have all been
Digital.
Okay, well, hold on,
X,
hold on.
No X or Y or Majora's Mask 3D or
No.
All right, pause.
I have all those.
Excuse me, Robbie, how many games have you actually bought in the
All right,
last?
I've probably only bought 25 to 30. Ryoku has bought me the other like 80.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's you're not wrong.
Thank you, Ryoku.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that is
Says a lot.
Well, I think they're also right too that the slate of games in the first quarter this year was pretty weak compared to last year's too.
And Overwatch is not going to be a big unit mover because that is going to be that audience is primarily
anyway.
well. That is also true, but that audience is also primarily going to be digital downloads.
Correct.
So,
all right. Endemol Shine Studios has acquired the rights to Mirror's Edge to adapt into a television show. The show will feature a character named Faith, who is a skilled runner and warrior, carrying messages and avoiding government surveillance. And apparently, the plot centers around her cousin or her sister, who is framed.
You know what? Now, last episode or a few episodes ago, we were talking about the idea of video games being adapted to movies and how that doesn't really work so well.
Right.
But what about video games being adapted to a TV show? Because then they
This
have a
sounds
lot
like it could work.
more room to work with. There.
does it though? I mean, I don't know.
This almost has the similar theme to like Person of Interest with the surveillance and people like you have to. I don't know. I just feel like take this, but then give it a video game.
I think it has potential because one of the things that we identified as a concern with adapting to movies is like there can be a lot of lore to flesh out in a short period of time. With a TV show, you have maybe a whole season to kind of flesh out that world, and you can build on it.
Especially when it's a game like Mirror's Edge, which is primarily loved because of its gameplay. I feel like you could do a lot with something like that.
Here's where I think it's going to come down. The make or break's going to come down. If they're going to try and adapt it to like syndicated TV, it's doomed to fail. But on something like Netflix where
series.
they're allowed to do what they need to do to make this successful, I think it can thrive there.
Really?
Yeah.
As a Netflix series, I could see Mirror's Edge doing well. It's always got a cool stylized look that would lend itself well to that.
I just didn't I guess I just didn't realize that Mirror's Edge was a strong enough IP to justify
I don't know about
something like that
either. I haven't played it myself. It looks sweet. I do have it.
I have it and it's downloaded. I've just been waiting to find the time to play.
I'm just, but there's not. I don't see many people that are like always just super all about Mirror's Edge.
Then again, that could work in its advantage because one of the reasons that I think Guardians of the Galaxy did so well was because they weren't as well known, so people didn't really have expectations to hold them to.
Okay, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I can get behind that idea, but there's this other thing that has really been bothering me, and I forget who exactly mentioned
cream on it.
Who exactly mentioned it? But the idea that like just these game narratives have just become huge and sprawling epics that like they need all of this ancillary material, whether it's a TV show or
we've
whatever.
Talked about that before.
Yeah, and again, I'm gonna kind of revert back to my concern about FF15 because like we know that we're getting the anime and the full length feature film out of the gate, right? Like, the thing about additional media that is so attractive to people is that they were pulled in by that world of the game that they were playing in, and they wanted more of that world. Now, I'm not sold on the FF15 world
just
as it
because
is.
There's so much,
right? And the thing is that it makes it feel like those pieces of content or those pieces of material are going to be central to understanding the plot or central
overwhelming
to
before the game
even
started.
What we should do, Nika.
It's not that overwhelming.
Nika, I
it's
assume
like 5
you're
YouTube
going,
episodes in a movie.
Nika,
What?
you're going to read and watch all of the possible content that comes out for
Absolutely,
FF15.
yes.
Okay, here's what we'll do. I will read or watch 0 of it and then play the game, and we will compare our take on the game at the end of it and see how different it is. Let's experiment with it.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Because so you haven't even watched the anime episode
No,
that's already out?
I haven't watched anything that's out or touched any of it yet. I didn't play the demo even.
Like Nate says, I love all the world building. I love all the additional stuff, but when it comes out before the game even does, or I'm told about it,
I've got to be sold on it first.
Exactly. I start to feel overwhelmed, like, oh my god, there's so much shit. It's
not even out yet, though.
It's the same reason that it's hard for me to get into something like Metal Gear Solid, which I want to do.
Because it's overwhelming.
But there's so much stuff now for me to do.
I can see that.
Whereas if they come out with a game and it pulls me in, and then they start pulling all this other stuff out, I'm already invested.
Yeah,
I have to do it.
There's
an
element of once you've completed the game, you're like, all right, now give me as much else as I can get my hands on.
Well, yeah, and like I'm kind of going through that with Dark Souls right now, where I got through the end of Dark Souls 3 and I was like, I just want more of this, and I immediately started Dark Souls 1. And so, but like, it has been a long time since a game inspired that in me, and I'm concerned at the end or even halfway through FF15, I'm gonna go, well, I don't give a fuck about this, because in the middle of FF13, I got to Cocoon, and I'm like, I don't care.
Even Overwatch is doing it really well. They randomly released some like.
Move to your server. Here's hoping I can see you guys in game.
Oh,
who was that?
Also,
Mugen Raccoon.
Capcom is best Capcom. 90s. Stay awesome, guys.
Capcom. Thank you, Mugen. Much appreciated.
Yeah, they recently released a video that was like covering some type of like incident or robbery involving some of the things, and like that's how they're doing their story. On our way home last time, me and Chris were looking up like Reddit threads of people who were compiling the dialogue that the different characters can have with each other before matches start, and you can draw like from those things. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's hilarious.
Right.
Like one of them where Mercy says, "What happened to you?" to Reaper, and he goes, "Why don't you tell me?" You're like, holy fuck, she did that to him.
She did. Mercy is not innocent.
No, she's evil. Mad scientist.
All right, so Nico, we're going to do this. You go in with all of it. I'm going in blind.
There we go. All right,
got it. Let's do it.
Reports from Morgan Stanley claim Nintendo is working on a new handheld system codenamed the MH, with Nintendo having previously stated that the NX would be a successor to neither the Wii U or the 3DS. People are questioning what niche the MH is supposed to fill.
That's a really good question. I don't know.
My hand.
God, I just don't know how much.
This is very speculative.
Yeah,
it's hard because the 3DS is a really solid handheld, and it's kind of. I don't know where they can go from there.
It's true. I don't know where you go from there.
Yeah. And I mean this report is coming out of a financial group who's like working on Nintendo's finances. Like, that's where it's coming from.
Here's the thing about mobile gaming is that some point you start getting diminishing returns the better your hardware gets, and this was exactly shown off by the fall of the Vita. All right, the Vita had wonderful processing power, could put games out on a graphical level that rivaled stuff on the PlayStation 3, and it performed really, really well. But then the onus then becomes on the developer to develop a game that is worthy of that hardware. And the thing is that
that's why I never bought a Vita.
The hardware never sold well enough for developers to look at it and go, well, that's a viable market.
That's a catch-22 in that sense.
That I can throw a whole bunch of development hours at. When your total audience is limited to a couple of million people versus the astronomical like 33 million that the 3DS sold, it doesn't add up and it doesn't make any sense. You're spending way more development time. It would make sense if there was like a project for a PlayStation 3 game that never saw fruition. That it would be pointless to put it out on PlayStation 3 now.
That's what I thought they were going to do with Type 0, and Type 0 would have made me buy a Vita, and then they didn't. So.
And no, all they did was upscale the textures and put it on the PlayStation 4, which, I mean, that thing should have probably been on a Vita.
That would have made me buy the Vita, and then I would have bought other games to go along with it.
You would have bought a Vita for Type 0?
I was planning on it. Because I wanted a Vita.
Why?
I worked at GameStop, and I knew everything about the Vita, and I was like, this is a really solid system, but there needs to be a game that I want to play that I can't play anywhere else. That means I need to get one.
But you would say that
like Smash Brothers.
But you would say that even after getting your hands on the PS4 version of Type 0?
Not necessarily. I was thinking if it was only on the Vita and nothing else.
She had never played it. If she was still just waiting to play
and she's
Type
not
C.
saying that she would have been happy with it, but at that
I'm just
point
saying
you
that
already
like, I
have
was
it.
waiting for a game.
Right.
Yeah.
That
Okay, I
was,
get it.
You know, that was developed for the Vita, and I think the problem. I mean, it is a catch-22. It's like you're going to say, okay, people won't buy the Vita until there's a game good enough developed for it, but no one's going to develop games if nobody buys it. It goes in circles.
It is exactly a catch-22. So.
For those of you who wandered the arcades about 20-some years ago, you may recall the cabinet version of Street Fighter II. The splash screen had 2 characters on it that never appeared in the game, and after 25 years, the developers of the game have finally revealed who they are. Their names are Max and Scott, and they also had posted bios posted of them. It's being speculated that since Street Fighter V takes place shortly after 2, they may appear in the game as DLC.
Oh, damn.
So for you huge Street Fighter 2 fans, you can finally know who those 2 characters
Honest
were.
to God, I have always kind of wondered that. Like, I'm not a big I'm not a big Street Fighter fan, but the thing is that we did have a Street Fighter 2 cab at the place where we used to have barn dances in middle school. So I saw that splash screen a lot, and at some point I remember going,
like, who are these characters?
Who are these guys?
Yes, well, their names are Max and Scott.
They're people who aren't interesting enough to actually...
They're being ripped straight out of the games rather than being remade.
Man, so not cool. Yeah, well, you know what,
damn.
Blizzard? This is the internet. You'll never win.
I could see why that's a problem. I mean, if you're remodeling something to be based off of Tracer, that's one thing. But if you're taking it straight from the game files, yeah, I could see
There's
why
copyright.
Blizzard would be aggressively.
Pornhub has begun taking down videos after an infringement notice was filed by a company called Irdetto. While they may be operating independently, far more likely as Blizzard has contracted them to go after this sort of thing. The leading cause appears to be that the assets for characters are being ripped straight out of the games rather than being remade.
Man, so not cool. Yeah, well, you know what,
damn.
Blizzard? This is the internet. You'll never win.
I could see why that's a problem. I mean, if you're remodeling something to be based off of Tracer, that's one thing. But if you're taking it straight from the game files, yeah, I could see
There's
why
copyright
Blizzard would be getting
there.
up in arms about that.
Oh, why you so angry?
Well,
I'm pretty angry.
Really?
Blizzard, come on. It's not hurting anyone. It's just giving your game free promotion.
This may be the only scenario where it's like totally justifiable to download your porn. Because, like, honestly, because I don't know, I feel like we've made that joke before. Hey, quit downloading porn so that your connection can stop sucking. And then we go, yeah, but who downloads porn nowadays? Well, maybe you should have downloaded the Overwatch porns because they're not there
it's
anymore.
hot.
I like how this is following up on the heels of us talking about fan-made content last week. That's true. This is probably not what Blizzard had in mind.
No.
You know what? What I actually like is that we have like this ongoing saga of like Overwatch porn.
Of just porn in general, video game porn.
Yeah.
The last 3 episodes we've mentioned Overwatch porn. I think last 4 or 5
one with Minecraft porn.
we've mentioned porn in general. Oh, actually, yeah, counting the Minecraft porn.
That's
Like
right.
this is like the 5th episode.
Yeah.
Okay, we need a segment on the show dedicated to porn.
Right? Fact this.
Video game porn is a big deal. So,
it is.
I mean, as video games are becoming more mainstream too, you can expect more and more people in general to be interested. So,
I don't know. Does anyone find it weird? Like, I've always kind of found taking IP characters and making them fuck is just like, it's sort of like the equivalent, like the adult. It's the adult equivalent of taking 2 action figures
Now
going.
kiss.
Yeah, like you're going.
I mean, these are the people who.
Come on, Nate. Goku would crush your
These are the
pelvis.
people who in high school were like, OMG, Ed Elric and Roy Mustang should totally bang.
Oh yeah, right there. Oh yeah.
You see, and now you're getting carried away with it.
Jacket right
That's
there.
how easy it is to get lost in it. Not that I would know. I assume that the people who make these videos are incredibly talented at what they do.
Of course.
These are the people who in high school would write the fan fiction about it. Now they can actually witness it with their eyes. That's all.
Shameful.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. It's weird.
I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Let's settle with that.
Let's all just like settle into an awkward silence. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that just happened.
Yeah.
I hope every video with Tracer ends with
Even
that line.
Tracer
Perfect job.
is uncomfortable.
I hope every video made with Tracer ends with that line.
Oh god.
A new Doom mod for the original game, titled Doom for Doom, is porting in the weapons from the newer version of the game. The mod has changed the weapons functionality to perform in the original, more fast-paced game. The creator has also upped the gore a bit to bring it in line with the newer game, but not to the levels of some mods such as Brutal Doom.
Okay. It's weird that it would come out so long. I mean, like, for the original
because the
Doom.
new Doom game came out and now people are
Yeah, I mean, I
rediscovering
get it. It's
the
just,
original.
I guess.
I mean, people have been making like Doom mods up until recently. That's nothing new.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Like it. I guess maybe if it doesn't take a long time, go for it.
And it's like it's a fan made thing, so fans, they can make stuff for original games like that, and it's probably just a fun little side project.
Mm-hmm. Do they have a Doom mod that turns it into a turn-based strategy game?
Not to my knowledge.
No.
What about like a turn-based RPG?
No. Why? What? Where are you going with that?
Are you working on something that we need to know
I'm just
about?
saying, I just want to know the extent of Doom mods, because apparently it's a huge, big thing. So let's just see how deep the rabbit hole goes. Apparently.
There's a good number of them, but I can't say specifically which ones exist.
Well, Callie, as our Doom mod correspondent, we need you to get on top of these things.
Okay, I'll hop right into the Doom Underground.
And we're talking mods for the original Doom?
Yes, for the original Doom.
Like the pixelated shit.
Yeah, that's what this is. He took the weapons from the new Doom and put them in the original game.
Okay, like, I guess that's cool, but like, what else can you really mod into that? Unless you have, like, do they have a Duke Nukem-style nude mod patch?
Probably.
Well, can we get Overwatch characters modded nude into the old Doom?
It always comes back to Overwatch.
All right, now we're going a little too far.
Yeah.
During a session of Doom on Twitch, T-Pain claimed that Lil Wayne and longtime collaborator Birdman used to bet $10,000 on games of Madden that they would then let the computers play out. So they would set up two teams played by computers and bet 10 grand on the winner.
That's hilarious.
Okay.
That is
I
an
wish I
awesome
had
use
that
of
much
money.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I just wish I had that much money.
Yeah.
Just once. Just once.
And yes, that's correct. I said on T-Pain's Twitch stream. The record producer, rapper, and songwriter is a streamer on Twitch. Currently, he streams mainly Overwatch and has said that Twitch has allowed him to revel in his true game-loving self. His streams are pretty widely praised, touching on many issues, sharing some insider stories, and at the heart of it, just playing games. I saw one T-Pain stream, and he's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
his streams are pretty good.
From what I heard, it's a trip. Two, it gets strangely inspirational sometimes, and reading that, like, he's basically at heart he's like a really big gamer, and the industry has like stifled this over the last few years. Like that's real strange to me, I guess.
And it goes to show you never know who's actually into games.
Right,
It's like that's what makes like the Clueless Gamer segment so much fun. Like it's Conan O'Brien playing video games.
Yep. And T-Pain has also said that he hopes to be cosplaying Overwatch at the next TwitchCon.
Oh,
that is awesome.
Which then
he's gonna be Tracer.
begs the question: who's he going to cosplay?
Oh God,
Tracer. No.
Tracer.
If T-Pain shows up in a Tracer cosplay, like I think he would be the internet's
Come on,
like number one
Widowmaker
hero.
is way more revealing.
Ooh.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, no, it's just I'd rather not.
All right,
because we're gonna have to do that news segment on the show.
I was gonna say, don't try to shoehorn him into Roadhog, okay?
Anyway, so is it twitch.tv/T-Pain?
Actually, they didn't list his Twitch stream. I assume it's T-Pain, yeah.
I'm gonna guess. I
can't imagine it'll be hard to find.
T-Pain with an E, because somebody already took T-Pain.
That's what I was gonna say. I can't imagine that somebody didn't take T-Pain already. Yeah. So that's pretty cool, though. I'd love to see more like celebrity.
I hope he
streamers.
plays on PC, so there's someday like I have a chance to like play with him in Overwatch. That'd be super cool.
Maybe.
What do you think Lyric would say if we started having celebrities playing on Twitch and getting donations and taking...
I was going to say, is it okay for Twitch Pain to have a fancy donation layout?
Oh, no, definitely not. No, he's brand new.
He already has,
but he has more than 100 views.
Well, that is true. That is true. You know, that's actually one of the whole things that really bothered me is like, you know, what if you're coming to Twitch from another form of entertainment?
Another platform. Mint3, for example. Perfect
Exactly.
example. He was huge on YouTube first.
Well, not just in terms of like streaming, but what if you're a comedian? What if you're a comedian that looks at Twitch and goes, well, I play a lot of video games.
Can't do it. Gospel of Lyric. Can't do it.
Oh, yeah. You can't possibly. But I mean, like, you already have an audience that you know might want to engage with you on that level. Why just put an arbitrary block in there to prevent them from doing that? That just seems to cut your nose off to spite your face.
You haven't earned the right yet, okay?
Because he's a self-righteous prick?
Yeah, that sounds
that
about
could
right.
be it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I might be onto something here.
I don't think you are.
That's what's going on in the news, guys.
All right. Well, Callie, thank you very much for doing the news. I know you got to get out of here.
Yeah, I'm gonna go clean up shit.
Before you do.
Oh, yeah, who needs drinks?
Yeah,
So,
that'd
make
be
yourself
nice.
useful.
Yep.
Alrighty, guys, have a good one. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Thanks, Callie. Yeah, because Callie will not be here next week because you're going to Awesome Con?
No, he's going to Colossal.
Colossal Con, that's what it is.
I'm going to Awesome Con.
That's okay. Got it. I've got the two mixed
So
up.
neither of us are going to be here next weekend.
So if
What a great show.
If you're either going to be at Colossal Con or Awesome Con and you want to meet your favorite Limit Break Radio hosts, well, only one of us are going to be there, so you have to either meet Nika or Scalia. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Ditto.
But
Because the real good hosts are going to be here making shows for you like you pay us to do.
That's right.
Hey, I also have an engagement party to go to after Awesome Con. So there's another
Hashtag
reason I
humble
won't be
brag. I have real life friends.
there. No, a cousin.
She's got
she's
a
not
life
friends
guy.
with cousins. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, she's got family that actually wants to hang out with her, unlike your mom.
Oh, well, I'm hanging out with my mom tomorrow for Memorial Day.
Oh.
As of now.
Yeah.
Currently. And her aunt. Well, my aunts.
You're gonna
Her
call.
sisters.
You're gonna call in the morning, and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, you know what? Just don't worry about it. It's cool."
Still butthurt.
Yeah.
John Cena saying, or sorry, Relum Time saying, Kali and Nika are not my favorite. Like at all.
Oh,
Shots
Owned.
fired.
damn. Ouch.
Owned.
See, Alistair knows what's up. He was
It-
hanging out with us in our FF11 streams last night. That's what's up.
If you'd like to give us a call, Final Encountercast on Skype, 810-207-1764. We'd love to talk to you about whatever you want to talk about, including any of the headlines that we've talked about today, which, by the way, if you want to know more information or find links to any of those, head on over to finalencountercast.com and check out our live blog. Kooky Persona, who mans our phone lines, is also responsible for updating our live blog. As we talk about each story, the source article is posted over at Final Encountercast, so if you ever want more information, that is available over at finalencountercast.com. So this past week, the creator of Minecraft, his name's Notch, stepped in a bit of I don't know what to call it. He stepped in a little bit of drama. You got drama on his shoes.
Oh, you really stepped in it, mate.
Wow, that was weird. I don't know why I went with that accent and that drop was in that accent. That's weird.
Well, I already used that drop already, so you
maybe
you heard
maybe it was subliminal. Maybe it was subliminal. I don't know. But
Idiot.
Marcus Person, who is known as Notch, had some thoughts about the term mansplaining. So,
It's such an awesome word.
Well, I'm assuming that everyone knows what mansplaining
Well,
is.
mansplain it for me.
Well, okay, for all the women in the chat room, I'll go ahead and I'll explain mansplaining. What mansplaining is where a man comes in and talks down to a woman because she's a woman and already, comes into it with the assumption that she doesn't know what she's talking about. And so
because she's a woman.
Needlessly and over explains things to
Now, this is different from manscaping, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's very different from manscaping because manscaping involves pubic hair.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And I always thought mansplaining was also about like a man trying to explain a woman's issue to a woman.
That is that is also somewhat true. I'm sure that I mean it's kind of a colloquial term that's popped up in the last 4 or 5 years.
Days.
Well, to sort of like describe this, but I'm sure that it's applied in that way as well. But the initial tweet that Notch had responded to was from let's see, at Gohami. Okay.
It's French.
Who the original tweet was, let me make one thing perfectly clear. Mansplaining is a funny but actually quite problematic and real issue. It silences women. Which, I got no problem with that tweet. I think that that's probably pretty true. So Notch stepped in at that point and disagreed and said, no, mansplaining is a sexist term designed to silence men via gender shaming. So this is the first point that made people go off the rails. And
That doesn't even make sense.
I think that it kind of does, because while I'm not going to sit here and deny that mansplaining doesn't exist, because I've seen it, I've watched it happen, and it is fucking obnoxious. At the same time, it is inherently a gendered term designed to be aimed at one gender, not the other. And, I think gender...
Because women don't do that shit.
I think gender...
Whoa. Holy shit.
Okay, I can't say it.
Easy mode.
What?
But
Nika.
See, I was worried about this episode being three guys like yelling at one chick, and then she goes and puts a target on her. Like, oh, Nika, please don't do this. I actually wanted to be on your side for this discussion.
No, obviously, not all men and not all women are the same. So I'm not gonna generalize. But
look,
that was a joke.
But it is clearly a gendered term. He is right about that. I think going as far as to say it gender shames, I'm not sure that I would agree with that. But I think clearly he feels some certain way about this, and so I think that there's kind of a point there. So. The next response, this is where things really kind of got out of hand. Maniac Zombie responds, LOL at the irony of this guy mansplaining what mansplaining is. Sit down and shut up.
Trash can emoji.
Oh yeah.
Don't forget that.
To which Mark...
Oh, this is the best. I'm sorry.
Marcus replied, stop confusing the issue by dismissing my words with a derogatory term about my gender.
Get her done.
Wow. Which I think... the reason that this caught my attention is because I think... confusing might be one of the funniest terms I've ever heard. It really is. It's that's a solid fucking joke right there. Like it is in one word is a great joke responding to the idea of mansplaining. So of course everyone decided to react after that.
Oh, of course.
Good reason. Like, okay, I will admit it's a clever wordplay. However, there's a very big difference with the word mansplaining. Just literally says the word man, and apparently that's gender degrading, where he actually takes a word that's historically for centuries been degrading towards women and then uses that as the counter to mansplaining is the problem here.
Well, but in both of those examples, right? Like the word works with the run-in. Like you're taking two words and you're sort of mashing them together. And if you tried to make it politically correct, it doesn't, like vagina fusing doesn't exactly work, because that sounds like you're taking two vaginas and fusing them together. Okay,
which is a whole different.
That's a different thing. There's a whole portion of the internet for that. I think.
Plus, I don't think it's fair, no matter what way you look at it, to say, all right, well, because obviously it's the intent that's it's offensive.
It's
right?
the exact same reason that on the side of mansplaining, it's not called male-splaining, because it just doesn't roll off the tongue as well.
Well, I also think that it's the intent behind it, right? That determines how offensive it is. Imagine if I would have done a tweet where I was like, "Oh, I was out with a girl tonight. Totally thought I was going to get something, but apparently apparently I got confused, right? Because I was around her, I knew what I want, and I just was zeroing in on one thing, totally missed it. I got confused, right? Like, would that be as offensive as what this is?
See, I'm going to have
Yes
to
or no?
disagree in certain aspects of what you're saying. The intent behind it is not always what determines what's offensive. Like if you, and I mean, I'm not going to speak obviously for African Americans, but if you are not of that race or of that gender or of that whatever, you cannot tell someone what to be offended by. So there are so many people.
I'm not saying don't be offended by it, but you also can't decide, oh, well, that's more offensive than this is.
Right.
Because this historic piece, this historic thingamabobber.
Absolutely.
But it's just the fact that the word cunt has been deemed by so many encyclopedias and by so many people and linguists saying that it is one of the most offensive words in the English language. You do not use it. It does not refer to a vagina. It's a derogatory word to a woman, and you do not say it. And so it's not just that, yeah, it's a clever pun, but it's something that when you're, I mean, I'm sorry, if you're going to be so public with something like that, you deserve all the freaking shame you're going to get for it.
See, this is where I disagree. Now, first of all, notch is from Britain, and in the UK and in Europe,
you can be as rude as you want.
No,
Nobody
the specific connotations around cunt is a bit more the use of it is way more liberal.
I looked up the history of this word before we even started the show because I wanted to know my knowledge about this. There is history and there is examples of it used in history where it wasn't offensive, and it said by Shakespeare's time it was definitely deemed offensive because Shakespeare used wordplay to kind of make it sound like they were saying that word, but
yeah,
not
but
saying
so
it
what
was
though?
offensive.
So what?
So what I'm saying is,
so what if it's
England,
offensive though?
But what I'm saying is he is from a country that where it is clearly offensive. So it's not that he can just claim he's not American. He didn't know. Oh, bull fucking shit.
I think it does. I think it does make it different, and I think the cultural norms surrounding the word they're very different in the UK than they are here. Way different, and that's just. That's a fact. But the thing is that, so what if you're offended? So what if anyone is offended by the use of the word cunt? Because it's just a word. It's the context that makes something either offensive or dangerous. And I think that is true of every fucking word. It doesn't matter if it's cunt or nigger or any other word. It's the context that makes something dangerous or makes something offensive.
I don't think so. I really don't think so.
Well,
there are
right
some
now,
words that you just, I don't know, that they're so ingrained in history and about the horrible, way your race, your history, your gender has been treated, that there are some words that just should not
some words
exist.
that we should just completely forget so that way no one remembers that history. It's completely locked away and we repeat it all over again.
So you're just going to throw it around willy-nilly because you want people to remember the history?
Well,
no, but it works for the joke. It works in the context of the fucking joke, and it works in the context of the wordplay. Again, look, nigger is not a word that I like to use. It's not a word that I use in polite society or even in regular fucking conversations. But in conversations about race, when I'm talking with someone about race, okay, as I feel as offended by the term the N-word as someone using the term nigger wholeheartedly. Okay?
I actually feel more awkward saying the N-word than I do saying it.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing though, is that there are proper contexts for these things. There are jokes that I've heard that use cunt or faggot or nigger or any of these very offensive terms and make it phenomenally funny. I think that you could, if you talk to a lot of gay people or homosexual, same thing. If you talk to a lot of homosexual people, that they would say, well, faggot is kind of that word for us, but yet Bo Burnham does so many jokes that contain the word faggot. And they're funny, and we all laugh at them. And nobody stops to go, well, why is that okay, but every other application of the word isn't okay? Well, spoiler alert, that means that every application of the word is okay. If you laugh at that joke and you find that if you're willing to give them a pass on it, you're willing to give them a pass based on context. And
I wouldn't give anyone a pass for that word either.
Oh, I always have. I mean, the thing about words is that they're designed to elicit a very specific reaction. And as our language continues to evolve, there was a time in this country where fuck and shit and bitch used to elicit the same amount of offense that these words elicit now, and it was through media exposure, it was through comedians pushing boundaries, it was through
words you can't say on the radio.
George Carlin, all of these factors led to the current environment that we have now. And I think that you would be hard pressed to find anyone who will seriously argue the offensive merits of fuck it's too funny. We've been shown as a society that it's too valid in too many applications to say, well, we can never say that word, or we can never, use that word in polite society or whatever. Again, I feel like the term the N word or the F word, or when you self-censor shit like that, is more offensive, because what that says to the person that you're talking to is that, first of all, you don't have the emotional maturity to hear these words and respond like an adult. And the second thing is, it absolves me from having to use shitty language that I don't like. I don't particularly love the word faggot or nigger or cunt, but I will use them when I feel that they're appropriate, if I think that they're going to get a big laugh, or I think that they're going to elicit a specific response from the audience. They're used as tools, just as shit, piss, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker, tits, fart, turd, and twat were used in the early 70s and 80s through George Carlin and other comedians, and fucking that's where we got now. There's no difference between the words that we use. It all comes down to the context and the meaning and the intention behind it. Nothing? No? That's it?
I'm completely with you, and I agree behind everything that you say with me. You summed it up pretty well. Something you're obviously very passionate about. But one of the facts remains that this is still three guys bashing our opinion against Nika. Kooky, who I'm sure is on Discord right now, she has her own opinion on it, right? And why don't we bring her in here and have a talk with her as well?
Yeah, I'd be more than happy to talk with Kooky if she wants to pop in here.
What's up?
Hey, what's up, Kooky? How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. You want to give your opinion about the confusion tweets?
I actually thought it was hilarious.
Yeah?
I really did thought it was hilarious. I don't find it degrading me or whatever. I really thought Notch put in his humor out there hilariously and in a very good way that not normal people like us can't even do. I thought it was very creative.
I'm not going to deny that the wordplay isn't funny. It definitely is, but I still think it's something that you don't need to publicly tweet about. Like, what's the point?
Nika, is there any other word that you could put in there that would have the same comedic effect?
Do you even have to come up with something like that?
Yeah, well, look, Notch feels that mansplaining is an unfair and gendered term. That's his opinion, right? Like, if you're saying that if that's not something that he needs to express his opinion about, I'm definitely going to disagree with you, because I think anyone should express any opinion that they have, no matter what it is, at any time.
But how can you really say that you don't like gender specific pronouns by countering with one that's even worse towards the other gender? That doesn't prove that you want actual equality or anything. That is showing you're a dickbag.
Because that's
not proving anything.
Because that's the humor in it. That's what's funny, is that
that's not humor. That's just showing that you're an asshole.
No,
you're saying, I don't like that you're using a derogatory term towards my gender. Oh, but here's one towards you instead. That is not what we're going to fix any problem.
I'm sorry.
That's not how this works.
Nika, I'm sorry. If you look at what feminism has been doing and just been trying for the past fucking 10, maybe even 20 years. 20 years. Feminazis
are not the same thing.
Feminism overall has been taking the culture that we have, twisting it, turning it on its head, and either through analyzing the source material or breaking it down or parodying it. Absolutely, this is the same fucking thing. All Notch is doing is parodying mansplaining and using because I mean,
okay, if this tweet is a parody, okay, then fine, hats off to him. But I do not think this tweet is a parody. When he says dismissing my words, the derogatory term about my gender, is he parodying feminazis, or is he saying that he really believes mansplaining is derogatory to him? If he really believes that, he's an asshole and an idiot. If it's a parody, okay, I take back everything I said.
I believe that is what he believes, is that he thinks that that mansplaining is an inherently gendered term. And I think his point is that, what true feminism is about is the equality between genders, not making women better or superior to men.
I think that's a great point. I don't think that he was saying it because he thinks that. I don't think that he, on a personal level, is offended by mansplaining
or feels oppressed by it.
Right?
Because
who the fuck cares? It's a word. Yeah. But what he was doing when he used confusing was he knew that was going to trigger her. So then he could basically be like, "Look, see, you're being triggered by what I did to you, and it's the same thing. They're different words, and yes, you're right. The word he used does have more history behind it.
It's way more loaded.
And is way more loaded, but it's still the same thing.
I'm sure you could come up with some kind of
and for the person in the chat
parody that doesn't use the word cunt, and it would be just as equally viable.
I don't think
and for the person in the chat who said it's funny because we have dicks, Kookie, what are you packing?
I am packing a vagina.
Oh, you don't have a dick.
She's got a lady purse.
Oh, but you thought it was funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
Okay, so that person in the chat, fuck you.
Yeah.
Cookie is under dick suspicion now.
That's the thing. I don't think that I don't think you have to be one gender or the other to really find the humor in this.
No.
I think that overall, again, it's a very clever play on words, and it gets his point.
I'm not denying that.
It gets his point across. Like he while I don't agree with him, by the way, I just would like to point out that I don't have a problem with the idea or term mansplaining. It's not.
I think it's hilarious.
It's not. Well, it's not something that I get personally offended by. Because again, I've seen it happen. It's not like it's so funny. It's so funny to watch these male feminists, these self-identifying male feminists that will put it in their fucking Twitter bio, and they go, "Well, I've had multiple conversations with women who say that mansplaining is a real problem." Like, first of all, wow,
that's something I was going to mention.
First of all, good for you for going out and actually finding a woman. How did you do that? Where did you find one? I really want to know. I can't find them, so I need to. And of course, I can never ask their opinions correctly because everything that comes out of my mouth sounds like marble shoved into tube socks. So please tell me your fucking secret about how you talk to the women to get their opinions.
I think the biggest problem that I have with this is why do we always, whenever someone's a dick, because that's what it comes down to, someone being a dick, all right? Or,
right.
Well, hold on, you know what? In fact, let's
I
not
feel
use
like
dick.
That's a very
gendered term.
Asshole. All right, when it comes down to someone being an asshole, we always have to look at them. We have to go, what makes them an asshole? It's the fact that they're a fucking asshole. It's not an asshole because he's a man or a woman or white or black. You're an asshole because you're an asshole.
Right.
If you're talking down to a woman because you don't think she understands the subject, it's because you're a fucking asshole.
It's not a gendered thing because
exactly
women can do it to men.
That is the thing that blows my mind, that pisses me off the most. When
Have
people
you-
try to
hang on.
label a problem based on that, you're just a fucking
the thing is-
asshole.
Hang on, wait. Have you guys, the two other guys that are sitting in this room right now, have you guys ever had to take a baby from a woman? You've never been woman-splained to until a woman hands you a baby. And then it's like, clearly you're going to kill this thing.
Oh no, I refuse to touch it. If I can break something and I can't replace it, I don't want anything to do with it.
Okay, the difference here is, can you prove that she would be talking to you any differently than a woman who's never touched a baby before?
Yeah, because she's talking to me like the fucking baby. She's talking to me like the fucking toddler in the room. Like, okay, just make sure that he doesn't put fork in a sock. Okay, all right, yeah, whatever.
Oh, damn, that's exactly what I was going to let him do.
Exactly.
I was going to hand him the fork and
I'm pretty
everything.
sure that if
Is
a
it okay if it's a
woman was
plastic
giving-
fork?
If a woman was giving her baby to a woman who has never touched a child in their life, I kind of feel like she'd do the same thing. So the difference there is that men would not, like, if you find a man who's never looked at a car before or anything about it, and he talks to a man like he is an equal, and then you look at a woman who's in the same situation and talks down to her.
No,
that's
you know
different.
what? I just had my car fixed on 2 separate occasions. I tried to help my mom's boyfriend, and guess what? I had no idea what I was doing. And you know what he did? He fucking talked down to me.
Yeah, because you're a woman.
Okay, who says you can't mansplain to another man? Sure
That's
you can.
the point I'm trying to make, though. Is it doesn't matter if it's a man doing it to a man, a woman doing it to a woman, or vice versa.
It just makes you
or
an
a
asshole.
transgender doing it to someone who's ace. It doesn't fucking matter. You're a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And you should be shamed as an asshole, not as a man, not as a
guarantee
woman,
you that
not
there
as white
are-
or black.
You're right. You're absolutely right. I 100% agree with that, what you just said. But I do believe that there are a large chunk of men out there who do talk differently to women because they're women.
Of course.
And they're assholes because
that's
of it.
where the term comes from.
Of course. And I'm not arguing that. Again, I can't disagree with Notch anymore, but I'll go to the mat defending his use of the word cunt, especially if I think it's funny. I mean, if a joke is bad, that's one thing. It's a bad joke. This is a really good joke and a very justifiable use of the term. I mean, look, comedians now, for comedians who want to be edgy now, it's got to be harder than ever to find that third rail that makes people go, you know what I mean? In the 90s, 80s, 70s, those rails were very easy to find. And now, I mean, you've got Daniel Tosh hosts one of the most openly offensive TV shows on television, and it's like, how do you be more offensive than Daniel Tosh? How do you be more offensive than Doug Stanhope?
I got it. Progressive white male who has a fucking puppet of a dead terrorist. Oh no, wait, even that's not offensive. People fucking love it.
I think he's pretty deeply conservative.
All right, fine, conservative then. Yeah. Whatever. Point is, how do you go further than that?
You don't. You can, but I mean, it's really going to take getting into some really, tough, difficult subjects. You know what I mean? Do you guys think that this makes Notch a sexist or misandrist?
No. No more. Well, okay, hold on. Maybe. Okay, I would say no more than I'm a sexist making jokes with you guys, my friends. But if that makes me a sexist, then I guess it does. Nika, would you describe any of us as sexist to your friends?
I can't say that on certain occasions it hasn't come across that way.
Okay, but in general, it comes across that way. But when you are in moments of deep personal contemplation, would you say, you know what? Those guys are fucking sexists.
No, I wouldn't say that.
So, I think that Notch may be a sexist for his views on mansplaining. Maybe a little bit misogynistic there. But not for his use of the word cunt.
I can agree with that.
I think that definitely the position on mansplaining, because I think most people are ambivalent to it, because they're just like, yeah, of course it's a thing. Of course it's a thing. Nobody, why would you say it's not a thing? But then again, he's not making the point that it's not a thing. He's just making the point that the term is inherently gendered. Coming from the camp of feminists who are supposed to be for equal rights for all genders, that seems like a bit hypocritical. And I think I understand his point there. If that's his point, I totally understand it. If he's saying, oh, well, mansplaining isn't a thing and that's bullshit, I would definitely not agree with that. But I don't think that's what he was saying with his original tweet.
I don't think so either. I think he's just trying to make a point. A very, very overblown and exaggerated compared to what it started out as, but a point nonetheless.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, man. If you, that's why it's hard to tell with Twitter. It's limited to 140 characters.
Tweets.
It's hard to say exactly what he was trying to say, but I feel like that there's, I don't know. I feel like you've already went way into more detail than I think he even thought about before he posted this.
Yeah,
when he posted that, he probably just posted it.
I would have never thought to use offensive imagery and outrageous stereotypes to provoke someone to open their eyes.
Wow, right on the nose.
But if the people that do mansplain, you have to. I don't think that you can use that as the saying that, oh, you clearly don't want people to equal because you're using a term mansplaining, which is degrading. Not necessarily, because before we can be equal, we have to find the issues that are causing us not to be equal and identify them and fix them, mansplaining being one of them.
I totally agree. And I'm not saying that feminists who have been talking about the idea of mansplaining are inherently sexist either. Just like I don't think Notch is inherently sexist for his use of the word cunt. I think that, it is a real problem. Mansplaining actually exists, and we've all seen evidence of that. But, if you're going to be a movement that says, well, we want complete equality all the time,
let's just use the general neutral term asshole.
Everyone has one.
Exactly. That's my new thing. If you're fucking doing something like that, you're an asshole. It's nothing to do with being a man or a woman.
No, that's true, because you're right. Even the word dick is very gender pointed, so asshole is very...
Excuse me, I fought in the war and my ass was blown off by an RPG, so I find that very offensive.
You're a former asshole.
I have to shit through my penis.
Oh, old shit dick over there. The stories that I could tell about old shit dick. Oh my God, that's horrible. Dear God. Well, predictably, also, men's rights activists and gamer gators of all stripes latched right onto this and was like, Notch is all for our cause, which I mean, that may or may not be true.
It's hard to say, because men's rights... What?
Okay.
Look, I'm sorry. I can't think of that and think of it seriously.
Let me just offensive that Chris believes that he fought in a war.
Look. Let me just.
War.
I'm gonna say something here, and I'm gonna
about to get offensive in here.
I'm gonna piss off everyone who's not already pissed off by this conversation. Okay.
Greatest conversation ever.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna say, I'm sure that with the whole lead up to this, everyone thinks, well, Nate, you're just as much of a sexist as Notch is. I'm not bothered by the term mansplaining in the same way that I'm not bothered by the existence of Anita Sarkeesian. She does not bother me. Guys,
she bothers me.
She does not bother me. I do not get offended at Anita Sarkeesian, nor do I think that she's the worst thing for gaming. I actually kind of like her. I actually think that she brings up some pretty good goddamn points. And watch, I guarantee.
When do we get into the offensive bit?
You say that to gamers and then they lose their fucking minds.
You mean you say that to assholes and they lose their fucking minds?
That's like saying, Jack Thompson had some pretty good points. At this point, it's like going, Hitler had some okay ideas. Like you say Anita Sarkeesian's not that bad in a room full of gamers, and it'll just suck the air right out of the goddamn room.
Yeah, because all of the things that you're saying, the reason that they're offensive is because of hindsight. Right? Because in order for Hitler to get to where he was, guess what? Some people had to have thought he had some pretty good ideas.
I'm not bothered by the idea of Anita or any of the videos or any of the things that she that she advocates for, because you know what? I've been involved with activism before.
I'm not bothered by her activist ways. I'm bothered by the fact that she scammed people out of their money, doesn't even care, or play the game she talks about, and then makes up issues that are maybe there and over-exaggerates them. That's the problem. Not that she brings the issues to light, that she's just dumb.
When it comes to activism or whatnot, personally, I think that the worst thing to come out of that was them buying up Blizzard. But, then Overwatch came out, so maybe that had something to do with that.
And I'm sure that people will start linking me articles like, oh, well, you haven't read this about her. Yeah, I stopped reading about her after I watched the video, and I was like, oh, I get what this is about. I've seen feminist critiques and breakdowns of media in the past. This is nothing new. What Anita Sarkeesian is doing for the medium of video games is nothing fucking new. There have been feminist breakdowns of literature, television, movies for fucking years. Okay? And some of the things that she says are kind of valid. Some of the things that she says are total bullshit, and she's clearly pushing an agenda, and that's fine. I'm okay with that.
She's allowed to do it, but she has to know that most people are not going to agree because she's dumb.
That's fine. No one has to agree. Just like no one has to agree with me on this show. No one has to agree with me on the show to enjoy it. I'm sure that there are a lot of people disagreeing with me right now.
No one has to enjoy this show while we're at it.
Yeah. No, but the thing is that, like one of your points, Nikki, you said she scammed people out of money. I don't think that that's true.
She used her Kickstarter for certain funds. I had the links before, and she didn't use the money for anything she said she used it for, and then she had all these other sponsors, and the money just
this is all fucking hearsay links. People could pick through our the way that we spend our Patreon money and say the same bullshit.
I don't know. We're very upfront with the way we use our money, though.
Absolutely. Absolutely, but who's to say? What's that to stop somebody from recontextualizing those facts and making them look bad?
Yep.
You know, like that. I feel like that happened a lot surrounding this woman. And
it was basically when the campaign first started, though. Like, she was, what it sounded like is not what it actually was when it went into production. Like, everything she advertised is very different.
And that's the thing that, dude, when you sign up for Kickstarter and you give money to Kickstarter, that's what happens. You get what you get. And that's the relationship that you get out of Kickstarter.
As you didn't give to my Kickstarter, man, and that really bummed me out.
But the thing is,
actual quote from Sarkeesian.
Here's the thing: is that from my understanding, that the video project was just supposed to be a feminist critique of video games. Not that she was some kind of expert, not that she had any kind of context, but that this was just going to be a strict critique of that, and that's what it was. And I don't think that that's a scam. That's not a scam. That's doing what you said you were going to do. And the fact that people didn't like it, I think, was the big backlash. Is that, you know, like, people just didn't like what she had to say and got very offended. And so Kotaku in Action was born. It's fucking ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. And you know what? I don't. If you are bothered by the fact that I don't mind Anita Sarkeesian, go fuck yourself. I don't give a fuck.
You're such a misandrist.
I know,
wait,
right?
Wait.
I think the word you're looking for is evangelist, because he likes Evangelion. Evangelion? Evangelianism? You're a weeaboo.
Evangelion.
But I mean, I you know, like, I just, all of this talk about gender, about race in video games as a medium is a necessary conversation. It's an
absolutely is. Absolutely.
It's an absolutely necessary conversation, and I'm glad for, if nothing else, that there are catalysts out there willing to put their reputation on the line to force the conversation forward. Because, again, just like the mansplaining thing, I sat around for 10 fucking years watching video games be developed and watching the characters that were associated with it and the themes that were associated with video games, and knowing that this was all inherently geared towards me, a white man. And you can't, if you realize that, it's hard, for me at least, to hold Feminist Frequency or anyone else accountable for wanting to look at that and go, well, isn't there something fucked up with that? Like, if I was able to self-identify that, if I was able to self-diagnose that problem with the video game industry back in the days of you know, fucking Nintendo Power and what was the Game Informer, you know, like, why I'm almost surprised that the reaction to this was what it was, because this is a conversation that's needed to happen for a long fucking time. So the vitriol that came out after the whole Gamergate thing went down just astounded me, and it still sort of astounds me.
Yeah, that it ended up where it ended up,
yeah,
blows my mind.
I've got no dog in that fight, and I know that there are a lot of really passionate people about that subject. And if you want to write me a big email, I'll read it, finalencountercast@gmail.com. But I'm not really going to care. And if you want to send me a whole bunch of blog posts that outline Anita Sarkeesian as the devil, you can just save it. I'm not going to read it. Because you know,
you didn't write it.
No, at some point, things like that hit a critical mass, and you just can't tell truth from fiction anymore.
No, that's true. That's absolutely true.
And there's no way to unravel it. There's no YouTube video that you can send to me. There's no link that you can send to me to convince me otherwise. She's just not that bad.
I don't know. It sounds like you're sticking your head in the ground, Nate. You're just kind of turning your ears and going like, no.
You know what? This has gotten much worse, because now Nika in chat has used the term dicksplaining.
Dicksplaining.
Yep. And I'm telling you right now, if confusing is a thing, dicksplain fits with the pun way much more than mansplain does. So if you can use cuntsplain, I think dicksplain should also be used.
That's not valid. No, that's fair. Just mansplaining came around first.
No,
so.
I know. I'm just saying it's I wouldn't even say it's equally as degrading, but at least it's more degrading. And if If we can be degrading to women, we can be degrading to men. That's equality.
You know, that's fine.
Why
and
would
actually,
you call it cocksplaining?
what I like too is when you get like celebrities who don't call for like, you know, the like instead of their idea of equal treatment, and this is what I love, isn't that we should stop treating women the way we do, but start treating men the same way we treat women.
Right. Yeah.
Like the chick who plays Daenerys in Game of Thrones is like, we need more dicks in that show.
Fair enough.
No.
That's fair.
I don't think we need that.
Well, here's my thing, right?
You like dicks, I know.
It's what?
First of all, we're all a little bit gay, okay?
First of all, if you can't handle the sight of a penis on a screen, then
I can't handle the sight of a flaccid penis, okay?
I need
if
my
it's like
dick's
nice
hard.
and hard and throbbing, that's fine. But when I see a flaccid one, I just think gross.
well, yeah, but I mean, like, what? Why is it weird?
If it's like nice and firm and at full mast, I can appreciate that penis.
It is. Look, it is only.
I'm like, that's a fine looking penis.
It is only. It is only weird if your parents are in the room, and then it's weird no matter what the genital is. You know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
That's the only time that. Why? If you're alone and you're watching a fucking TV show and a penis comes on screen and you get really uncomfortable.
Not uncomfortable.
That's on you.
Not uncomfortable. Like, oh, I wish they wouldn't have shown that. But just like, oh, come on, I didn't need that. But again, if it's nice and hard, it's like, that's a pretty good penis.
Or cock.
Right, more cock.
So that's our obvious way to say that Game of Thrones is tonight at 9.
So we gotta go, fuckers.
Everyone is super excited about Game of Thrones.
And their penises.
Man, last episode was brutal. Ooh.
My favorite new meme because of that I actually created. You know how you'll get those memes where it'll show like some happy couple and it'll be like, when he hugs you, right? And then like, right? Or no. One of the best one was from Jessica Jones, when he makes you smile, and then it showed the Purple Man, because there's a character in there who talks about how he made her smile for so long it hurt, right?
Yeah.
So I made one when he holds the door for you.
I saw that. That was sad.
So good.
Oh man. So yeah. Just to kind of put an end cap on this conversation, though. Again, Nika, can you just real quick? I'm a little confused. Can you go back and explain?
Hey, excuse you.
Can you dick-splain the difference between dick-splaining and mansplaining? Because I think I've
and cock-splaining.
Yeah.
Oh well, wait, no, that's a very good point. Maybe they should be used
and cocks hard.
Maybe they should be used for different levels of it. Like if you mansplain something and you don't realize you're being offensive, that's mansplaining, right?
Yeah. Okay.
But if you are actually being a dick about it and you know what you're doing,
dick-splaining.
Now you're dick-splaining.
I like it. That's canon.
I agree with this. I am fine with that.
I agree with that too.
Okay, if that's the case, then cunt fusion is totally valid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as long as there's a less degrading term that we can use if it's the accidental version.
Can we come up with it? I'm not sure what other.
Because like Kooky said, bitch splaining, but that's just as bad.
No.
Well, I mean, but it's got to be like confusion, you know, like
some play on it. Pussy fusion doesn't sound right.
No, that's weird. That's very weird.
But pussy is also degrading. Like
Clit
man
fusion?
is the word man.
Clit fusion.
Clit fusion.
Well, like woman and female both have more syllables, so it's really hard to come up with a pun.
Yeah.
Come on, chat. This is your chance to get mentioned on the show.
You think of
look.
See, pussy is degrading too. It has to be something that's for like the accidental woman-splaining that you don't realize you're doing it.
Nika, now you have put yourself in Notch's shoes. See, this is not so easy to come up with a very clever pun.
So he just picks the most offensive word because
of course, why not?
Because it fit.
Because it's the best one. Because that works so well.
Because he thought it up and thought this is too fucking stupid not to say.
Yes! I have that idea all the time.
Clit fusion X.
Thor cervix-splaining. I like that.
I think the lesser version's called being a woman.
Get the fuck out.
I love you, Nika.
Oh, all right. Let's real quick read one email before we get out of here.
We do have a good friend out on the phone.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
I did not know that we had anyone on the line.
A good friend?
Oh. It's Will from Refresh.
Oh, hey, what's up, Will? How's it going, man?
Holy shit, Nate, we got it. I fucking watched my dog lick its balls and we're still talking. Holy shit.
Well, For all
but
of the
anyway, now that all you bitch-ass nigger faggot cunts shut up now, I can start talking.
Now, just for anyone who isn't familiar, Will has the privilege to say those words.
That's right.
Anyone has the privilege to say those words. Just don't say them in front of me or I'll punch you in your fucking mouth.
So, Will, yeah, what are your feelings about cunt fusion?
Fucking hilarious, and it should be said by everyone in America. It should be part of our Pledge of Allegiance.
Oh my God!
Nika, shut the hell up and you let me explain. There's a man talking right now.
Let him mansplain to you.
Jesus.
You got served.
How about I explain it to you with hollow point bullets?
Wow.
I'm waiting.
Jeez.
She's waiting.
So, okay,
Fucking
she said...
psycho.
Still waiting.
What? Said what?
She said she's still waiting.
What,
Explain it.
Explain. Okay.
I don't
Mansplain
even
it.
explain anything to that whore.
Oh, so he doesn't actually have anything to explain.
Oh, okay.
I think he just wanted to use some
I don't.
puns.
I just want to be vulgar on the radio because fucking holy shit, it was hilarious anyway. So nigga, fuck this. Yeah. And Nika, guess what? I say nigga 100 times every morning because it makes my teeth white. You should try it sometime. Anyway, that's all I got.
I get it, because it's the whitest thing that you can possibly say, and so it whitens your teeth as it comes out of your mouth.
Maybe N-word. Maybe N-word is the
Oh,
whitest
no. You got, if you're going to go that far, you've got to go the Larry King route, and you got to go N-persons.
or whisper it when you say it, like the N-word.
Yeah. That is...
Or a black piece of shit. Like, if a girl called me a black piece of shit, I will immediately come, like, right there.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you more offended when you hear a white person whisper the term the N-word or openly say the word nigger?
Neither one. I'm not offended. So what?
Okay, well, fair enough. But what do you think? What do you if you had to if you had to speak for the black community at large, because of course we can do that because we're on the radio, what do you think would be more offensive?
Probably whispering it. If you said it out loud, I'll be like, who you talking to? Because someone's gonna turn around and figure it out real quick.
Yeah, but whisper,
that undercover shit.
Yeah,
whisper is really undercover because that means that you are assuming that I'm a nigga, but you don't want to tell me out loud.
One of my favorite comedians, Danny Glover, has a bit where he's like the only
Donald Glover,
yeah. The only way that it's going to be
Danny Glover is the old actor,
right from Lethal
Too old for this.
The only way that it's going to be acceptable for people to say this of any color is if we all just say it. And he's like, "No, you white people, not going to lie. The beginning, we're going to lose a lot of you."
I don't give a fuck. I don't like you cracker-ass crackers, you dirty slant-eyed chinks, you big wide-nose breathing up all the air niggas. I don't give a fuck.
By the way, Will hosts Refresh with me, and if you are a fan of that show, you can check that out at finalencountercast.com. And this Wednesday at 6 p.m. here at twitch.tv/finalencountercast, hit that follow button so that you know when we go live.
I'm coming!
Will, how excited for the show are you this week? We haven't done a show in like 4 weeks, man. How excited are you to get back behind the microphone?
I'm ready. I'm ready to cuss up a storm.
All right.
Not curse yet? Fuck.
I think that Refresh's slogan should be, when everyone's offended, no one's offended.
No one's offended. Hey, there you go. I also
t-shirt.
I also kind of like the idea of trash talk radio. Like that's kind of that term had popped into my head over the weekend.
Can your emblem be like a raccoon crawling out of a trash can?
I tell you what. That whoever that troll was that was in the chat, if you got enough fucking balls or a big clit, whatever you got, fucking call the show Wednesday night.
That Manny person.
Any person. It don't even matter who it is. Because I'll fuck your mama.
Yeah, that's the thing. You know, we don't get many trolls here at this channel. I think
we scare them off.
I think we intimidate the shit out of them. You know, our
Did you get him at Refresh or no?
No,
not at all.
We've never got a troll at Refresh. We've never got a real hard troll here at FEC, and we barely get him at LBR. So, I mean, I feel like, dude, we are like troll insulation. Like if you have a troll problem on your stream, call us. We'll be able to fix it.
Troll busters.
Cancel your show. We'll fix it.
That's right. That's right. We'll make sure that trolls have no power over your show, but we can also make sure that nobody watches your show as well. That's
true.
That's the power that we have here.
That's
at Final Encountercast. That's right. Thanks, Will. Thanks for calling in, man. We'll see you Wednesday.
Peace.
Take it easy. All right, that's going to do it here for Final Encountercast. Let's read one email.
All right, and we do the top one?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hello. Wait, there was one above that, wasn't there? Yeah, there was.
Okay.
I'm glad that there are some people who will speak out their mind instead of being afraid to say anything. I would like to put out another recent issue this week. This week, there was a discussion specifically about Twitch chat. It was brought up because of the DreamHack Hearthstone accident where a player was barraged with racist Twitch chat spam, specifically because this player was black. They then linked the article. I only bring this up because this seemed...
It was a gender joke. All right, let's take one more email and we'll get out of here.
No Name here writes in, says, hello, I love the show and I love the discussion about the whole lyric donation thing. I'm glad that there are some people who will speak out their mind instead of being afraid to say anything. I would like to put out another recent issue this week. This week there was a discussion specifically about Twitch chat. It was brought up because of the DreamHack Hearthstone accident where a player was barraged with racist Twitch chat spam, specifically because this player was black. They then linked the article. I only bring this up because this seems to be a common reoccurring problem that keeps popping up in certain streams I watch. I'm an African American. I realize this is the problem, but I don't think it is a huge problem that most people make it out to be. This isn't the first time something like this has happened, but more attention has been brought to it recently. Even big streamers like Lyric, for example, he tends to promote this sort of thing instead of censoring it. He would purposefully pick a player in a game, make him black, and call him Tyrone. While this is happening, Twitch chat is spamming the tryhard emote. People say that they don't care about Twitch chat, are new to Twitch. Personally, I don't care about chat and esports, and I watched possible 1,000 hours of Twitch just with that. I don't care about chat on most channels. Why? I have two monitors and I have Twitch up on the second when I play. I can't read when I play, but I can listen to it and watch it a little bit. But I sure as hell don't read chat. Where do I read chat? Some channels that do talk show stuff, but for 95% of the time, I could care less about Twitch chat. Sorry, this was a bit long, but short question is, what do you guys feel about the whole situation, and do you think Twitch needs to do more about censorship or not? So basically the idea here is that people come up and fuck up your channel because they're saying a bunch of racist.
Let me just say that this is an example, and not only that, but I mean just like reactions to someone making a black avatar seem to be very weird. And here's the thing, like you want to talk about racism and prejudice. Here's an example of some actual weirdness, some actual weird racial tension. And you're going to tell me that using a word that is offensive is that's somehow more racist than that kind of shit? Like, no, I think that this is an interesting issue and that more people should probably be talking about it. Mm-hmm. I think that there is a lot of, there's a lot of lily white faces when you tune into Twitch. No lie. Mm-hmm. Am I wrong here, or am I observing a different streaming service than you guys are? Because when I look around and when I think back on it, it's a lot of lily white faces.
What does that term mean?
There's a lot of white people streaming.
But I also have seen I watched a bunch of people the other day that were Asian that were streaming.
Sure.
And in Final Fantasy 14, I've seen a lot of black streamers.
But that's not, it's not to say that it doesn't exist, but I think that chats react differently to the demographic of the person behind the camera. And I don't like, this is stuff that we don't want to talk about because it makes the whole platform sound like a bunch of pieces of shit. Because this isn't one person. This is just like the reactions of a chat room at large.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's like the email said, it basically depends on who's streaming, because streamers basically foster their own Twitch channel. There's a person named Forsen who twitches a lot of Hearthstone, and his his chat is basically like the Dredge of the Earth. It's like 4chan shit, and they have all kinds of racist memes and stuff. And then you go down one lower, and it's got like maybe like 3,000 less people, but they're like actually like contributing to the channel, and they're like talking and stuff and trying to like make the best plays and stuff. So it just depends.
But what you're talking about, the type of thing you're talking about when you say you foster your channel, is that's the type of people like inside. You're not gonna be like, oh well, I'm fostering a chat full of Asians.
No, but you're
You know what I
fostering
mean?
it. Like if you that's the thing. Like if you don't call out the shitty people in your channel for being racist, then more people are just going to be racist because they think it's funny to be racist, and then more racists come, and then it's the racist channel.
Right. But I think he's talking more about the idea of,
Twitch overall.
Think of all of our big streamer friends that we know, right?
Yeah. A lot of white dudes.
Well,
there's Samus. He's Asian.
He acts he acts pretty white, though.
The Canadian sort of counteracts the Asian, right?
He's basically American at this point. He's basically white.
Can't wait for Samus to hear this. No, but I mean, I think that there's something to that. And then of the biggest names on Twitch, how many of them are white?
Quite a few, probably.
I mean,
yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm coming up with a lot of white people off the top of my head. You know what I mean? I don't think that it's necessarily something in the platform, but I think that stuff like this is stuff that we should be a little bit more concerned about than,
Notorious in the chat brings up a good point. A lot of the non-white streamers are in the fighting game community. I see a lot of people in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Smash.
Can he say that? Isn't that racist?
The fighting game community? The fighting gamers?
It's because all the people that we know are all role play gamers, and that's where all the fucking
and
creepy,
the smart
weird
people,
white ERPers go.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
All the white senators people.
No, but I do think that this is something that's worth investigating, that's worth taking time to think about. And I mean, think about the people that you spend time with on Twitch and what the demographics are. Does that make a difference? I mean, I think that's a perfectly valid question to ask yourself, right?
Mine's a very clear-cut answer.
Oh God,
I watch Hot Chicks.
Oh,
and Joe.
Is your dick racist?
No,
you don't have a racist penis.
You sure don't.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a sexist one though?
Whoa! Fuck, she's right. My penis is sexist.
Totally kidding.
But my mind isn't, because I can appreciate a good hard dick.
No, but who was it that was just saying in chat that the booby streamer chicks actually get more of the toxic shit too?
No, they do.
They do.
Some of our
totally
actually, not even just booby streamers. I know someone who's a pretty popular cosplayer in the Midwest, actually, and she tried streaming once and just got so many horrible sexist comments.
All about our usual friends aside, I've watched some like girls that have 2,000-3,000 people watching them, and all the chat is people just
innuendo.
making the worst things like what the at that point, if you're a sponsor, I totally just go into sub only mode. Like if you want to talk, sub only mode.
Absolutely.
And then at least you're getting their money.
Yeah. At least they're paying you to say derogatory things to you. And the thing is I think that's true. I think women, if you have the perception of being there not to play the game or to show off your anatomy, that you get immediate vitriol. Unfairly so. And I mean, that's total bullshit.
Yeah.
If it should be up to the streamer what they want to wear when they stream, and that's it. People get really bent out of shape about the booby streamers, which I think is fucking ridiculous. If I had something about my physical, my physical being
that you liked,
that I could accentuate to appeal to other people, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you do that? Because
of the chat.
If I could get away with showing half a ball and that was something that was seriously titillating to some people, I would stream with a camera on my half ball.
Instead of titillating, would you rather call it nuttolating?
That's a good one. I thought you were gonna try and use the word ball for it, and this is gonna fail.
I was almost there. I was almost there.
I have to, I actually make a conscious effort to think about what I'm wearing every time I stream, because I'm terrified that if I show half of a boob, that I'm gonna get shit on for it, and that's really stupid. So I shouldn't be afraid of that.
This is exactly my point. Yeah, you shouldn't have to be afraid of that. You shouldn't care.
I'm usually it's so warm in here. I'm usually wearing a tank top, which I can go to the mall in a tank top and nobody looks my way. Right.
But if you're on stream,
no, it's the end of the world.
It's a different thing. Yeah. That's and I mean, we want to talk about sexism in video gaming. Shit, that is way more damaging and corrosive than anything Notch said. period. That kind of shit, I can see how that is on a day-to-day basis way more annoying than hearing a term like cunt-fusing.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, look, some of the blogs that covered the cunt-fusing story were so offended by the term cunt that they had to block out the U in cunt. Like they took.
That's a
How do they know? How do people know?
They took the screenshot of Notch's tweet and then they censored the U in there so that nobody who read their blog would be offended.
For all we know, that says can't splain.
Exactly. It's
Notch is
stupid,
innocent
though.
in all this.
It's
He's framed.
You mean?
It's stupid. It really is. It's just if you are that affected by language, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have a really tough time in life. You're going to have a really tough time navigating the world if language is the thing that makes you get upset. There are real injustices. There are real slights. There's real shit, not just this perceived shit that people go through every day. And if you want to ignore that at the expense of shining a light on a term like confusing, boy, are you wasting your time. And it's unfortunate because, we could be having a productive dialogue about, a lot of these things. And instead, it just gets, people just react to things like confusing. And that's disappointing because it could be way, way more productive than this. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Final Encountercast. Boy, is it warm in the studio.
Right?
Is it? I haven't really noticed.
Can you guys see us sweating yet?
Mostly because I've passed out, actually.
I was going to say, I actually have actual beads of sweat rolling down my face.
Sure do.
Wow. I actual beads of sweat? I don't have giant fucking sweat marks underneath my fucking tits right now. That's a lie. I do.
Go scrub.
Wait, Chris is a booby streamer. What?
Calm your tits, Chris.
Not the kind of tits people want to see.
Calm your tits, okay? They don't just.
My tits are just oozing right now.
Chill them memories, all right? All right. We got to get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for Final Encountercast. Make sure that you join us here on Wednesday at 6 p.m. We're going to be live with Refresh, episode number 55, I want to say.
Don't fucking look at me.
Refresh.
Never listen to any episode of your shitty podcast.
Make sure you hit that follow button and join us live each time that we are live here with Final Encountercast. That's on every Sunday starting at 5 p.m. And of course, this show is funded by the incredible generosity of the listeners of Limit Break Radio. Thank you, guys. If you want to support the show and help it grow, head on over to patreon.com/Limit Break Radio. So I want to thank you guys. It's been a pretty adult conversation, I'll say. Like, we were able to keep it mostly mature, and I'm actually pretty impressed with the chat room, who is able to keep it pretty on track the whole time, too. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for Final Encountercast. I want to thank my crew, even though he had to duck out early. Callie, Chris, Robbie, and my name's
Tracer.
Tracer behind us now, as well as Kooky Persona manning the phone lines. Thank you so much, Kooky, for all you do for the show. I'm Nate. See you later. Final Encountercast is a production of FinalEncountercast.com, Limit Break Radio, and Bender Media Productions. Today's episode was produced by Christoph Gutzi, Kooky Persona, and Callie Sloan. This show is made possible by the generous Patreon donors of the podcast Limit Break Radio. Opening music provided by Keyboard Kid. More info and music can be found at keyboardkid206.bandcamp.com. Closing music provided by Sobsy. For more info, visit sobsy.bandcamp.com. For links to articles mentioned on the show, visit our live blog at finalencountercast.com. Final Encountercast and its hosts are solely responsible for its content.